Did you ever hear the tragedy of Hong Xiuquan? No? I thought not. It's not a story that the American public schooling system would tell you. It's a Chinese legend, and although you may have never heard of it, the Taiping Rebellion was the deadliest civil war in history. It included steamships, demon devils, a guy who could talk to Jesus, and at the center of it all was Hong. Now, who is Hong? Well, he was a man who believed that he was the son of God and the brother of Jesus Christ, and that he had been sent down from heaven to earth to establish a Christian kingdom in China with himself at the helm. So, let's see how it goes for him. Hong was born in a village in rural South China in the early 1800s. Now, he was a relatively smart kid from a relatively well-to-do family, so his relatives pushed him to take China's civil service exam. Now, at this point in time in China, the exam was your way of making your way up in the world. The Qing dynasty was ruled by an ethnic minority known as the Manchus, but Hong was not a Manchu. He was from a people called the Hakka, which is a subgroup of China's majority ethnic group, the Han Chinese. I know it sounds irrelevant now, but trust me, it'll be important later. So Hong passed his local exam and he made his way to the capital of his province, which at the time was called Canton. Now it's called Guangzhou, but that's neither here nor there. Now the thing to know about Canton at the time is that it was a foreigner magnet. Basically, when Hong gets to Canton, he runs into a missionary who is handing out Christian tracts, kind of like, you know those guys who hand out the pocket Bibles on street corners? It went something like this. Psst! Hey, kid! Huh? Who? What? Who are you? Psst! Take it! Take my Christian tracts! I don't speak English. I don't know what you're saying. Just take it! Take the tracts! So put a pin in that little encounter. We'll get back to it later. Now, the only slight problem with the Canton provincial exams is that they were hard as fuck. So although Hong passed his local exams, he failed the Canton exams twice. And after he failed his second exam in Canton, he had what we in the biz like to call a nervous breakdown. Dude was tweaking out, and basically he went into a coma in which he was visited by, let's just call it his extended family. My son, welcome. Welcome to heaven. Yo, you're not my dad. Where am I? No time for jokes, Hong. There's something quite dire afoot. The demon devils have infested my heavenly realm. Now take this magical golden sword and slay some demons for your daddy. Alright, you know what? Say less. I'm in. Yo, what up, bro? You ready to slay some demons, dog? Hey, I'm the Demon King. Come and get me. Good job, boys. Now, Hong, you must go. The people of China have forgotten my teachings. Your country is infested with demon devils. The evil Manchus have led the people astray. I love you, my son. I love you. But you have a job to do. So, I must say goodbye. I won't let you down, Dad. Let me at him. Let me at him. And so Hong wakes up and he tells his family, yo, I gotta slay some demon devils, like ASAP. His family's like, no, you actually just need to chill, dog, because at that time in China, if you like murdered somebody, your family could be held liable for that, so like, just chill. Hong's like, fine, okay. But you can't tame a wild stallion. You can't tame a man like Hong. And so after a couple more years and a couple more exam failures, he eventually is just like, you know what am I doing with my life? And then out of the corner of his eye, he sees it. The Christian tracts from that missionary all those years ago. He grabs the book, he tears through page after page after page. Holy shit, Hong thinks. It's me. I am the second son of God. I am the brother of Jesus Christ, and I have been sent down to China to slay the Manchu demon devils. It all makes sense. So, long story, very short, Hong assembles a massive cult known as the God-worshipping Society. And along the way, he picks up a few key players in his Christian uprising. My name is Yang Xiuqing, and my cool talent is that I can channel the voice of God. Hong, he told me that he wants to talk to you through me. Well, my name is Xiuqing, and I can channel the voice of Jesus. He also wants to talk to you through me, Hong. Whoa, sick. I mean, what are the odds that I run into two guys who can channel the voices of God and Jesus? I'm the luckiest man in China. So the Taiping grew and grew as bandits, pirates, and people just generally disillusioned with the state of chaos in the country in the mid-1800s joined Hong's movement. But as Hong and the boys were wandering around South China, destroying Confucian idols, Buddhist temples, Taoist, whatever the Taoists do, Qing officials were kind of like, this is a little whack and not chill. And so by December 1850, they begin to converge on the base of Jiantin, a village in South China, where Hong and his followers had congregated. They thought it was going to be easy. But Hong was ready. Now 10,000 people strong, Hong's forces rout the Qing dynasty and slice up the commanding general. They literally chopped him up into little pieces or something. I don't know exactly how it worked. But this was their first major military victory against the Qing. Emboldened by his big win, Hong decided to make a declaration to all of his followers. My followers, it is I, the Son of God and the brother of Jesus. I am officially declaring the existence of the heavenly kingdom of great peace. I, as ordained by my heavenly daddy, am the heavenly king of this heavenly kingdom. We love you, Hong! And I love you, random stranger. And so just like that, Hong's cult becomes a kingdom, and the Taiping Rebellion begins. So before more Qing forces arrive, Hong and the gang break out of Jiantin and they move north to the massive walled city of Nanjing, which is the former capital of the Ming dynasty, which was the dynasty that came right before the Qing dynasty. Now, the Taiping trek north to Nanjing did not come without massive disruption in the Chinese countryside. Villages were razed, so-called Manchu demon devils were slain, and major Chinese cities were taken up on the way to Nanjing. Now, although the Taiping suffered heavy casualties on the way, the Qing dynasty was utterly unprepared at every turn for the sheer size, scale, and power of Hong's forces. Unfortunately for the Taiping, not all of Hong's inner circle makes it to the heavenly capital of Nanjing. Unfortunately, Xiaogui, the voice of Jesus Christ, dies en route after getting struck by a bullet. I guess Jesus didn't warn him about that one. Unfortunately. But once the Taiping made their way to Nanjing, Hong begins to consolidate his power and establish the formal structure of the Taiping. My followers, welcome to the heavenly capital. Now, as ordained by my heavenly daddy, I hereby order you all to put all your shit in a giant community storehouse so that we can all share in the riches of heaven. Also, men, women, you're not allowed to be together, okay? We got a war to win. You gotta be segregated by sex, unless you're me. Then you get to have a bunch of concubines. But I'm Jesus' brother. Okay, so the rules are like different. Also, I am officially renaming the Manchu capital of Beijing to the Demon Den because there's demons up in that bitch that we must slay. And yeah, I think that's about it. Anybody else want to say anything? What up, Hong? It's me, Yang, the voice of God. I was just wondering if we could make two really big palaces, one for you and one for me. I was thinking that would be really tight. Yeah, no, I'm down, man. Go for it. Just make sure that mine is bigger than yours, okay? We've spent a lot of time with Hong and his followers, but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the other two major players in this conflict. The Qing dynasty, the ruling empire of China, and the foreigners. Now, it takes a long time for the Qing dynasty to get their shit together. The emperor was like in his mid-20s, and the Qing were just getting their shit rocked from like multiple directions. You got the Taiping, obviously. You got the foreigners. I mean, the Opium Wars are going on at about this time as well. You've got all sorts of other little like rebellions popping up in different corners of China. Basically, the emperor had no idea what to do. But one man rose up to the occasion. His name was Zheng Guofan, and in many ways, he was exactly the man who Hong Xiuquan was not. Unlike Hong, he passed the civil service exams. From modest beginnings, Zheng passed the civil service exams again and again and again until he made his way up to the top of the Chinese government. Now, on a visit to Hunan, his home province, for his mother's funeral, he received word from the emperor. Zheng, I need you to gather the forces of Hunan and fight back against the Taiping. But, Mr. Emperor, I'm a scholar, not a general. I read books. I don't build armies. I have to decline. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do, man. You're our country's last hope. You gotta save the country or it's gonna fall into the hands of that lunatic Hong. Yeah, that guy's fucking crazy. So you're in? I guess I'm in. What Hong's trying to do? Shit's blasphemy. This country's had many rebellions, but none have gone so far as to try and destroy Confucianism itself. You know what? Emperor, you're right. I'm gonna destroy this fool. And so Zheng, based out of Hunan province, began to collect the best commanders he could find, because he wasn't a very good general, and reorganize the army into a force that could go down the Yangtze River and take back Nanjing from Hong and his rebels. Then there were the Europeans. Now, if you remember Xiao Shaogui, the voice of Jesus who tragically got struck by a bullet, Jesus had come down to Hong while Xiao was still alive and told him that a foreigner would be joining his war against the Qing dynasty. So you can imagine in 1858, when Hong hears tell about this British lord of Elgin named James Bruce, who just burned down the emperor's summer palace and is like totally fucking up the Qing dynasty, Hong's like, sounds like my guy. So Hong decides to send the Lord of Elgin a little letter.
Lord Elgin, my lord, a letter has arrived for you from Nanjing.
A letter? For this old sea dog? I suppose I'll take a look. Who's it from?
Well, it's from that guy in charge of that weird Christian revolution thing.
Oh yes, Hong Xiuquan. Well, let's take a look, see what he has to say.
Hello, Lord Elgin. It is I, Hong Xiuquan. I, as you know, am the son of God and the brother of Jesus Christ. Since I know you and the British people are Christians, I trust that you will join me in destroying the Manchu demon devil dogs in a tornado of fire. We shall stand together and earn rewards beyond your wildest imagination. Thank you and goodbye. XOXO, Hong.
What a strange document. You think he really believes he's the son of God?
Yeah, that's what he always says.
Okay.
Well, that's sacrilegious, so I see no basis on which to help these Taiping rebels. You know, I hate the Qing, but at least they bring some semblance of stability. And you know what we say? Yes, Lord Elgin, stability equals free trade.
Very good. And that's what we Brits love best.
Although there were missionaries who were sympathetic to the Taiping cause on the basis of shared Christianity, most of the foreigners, especially the diplomats, generals, people like that, didn't really see the common cause because the Taiping kind of like weren't Christian, because Hong was claiming that he was the son of God and the brother of Jesus, which is like not really a chill thing to do in Christianity, so they didn't receive too much support. But if we're being honest with ourselves, the fall of the Taiping didn't really start with Zheng Guofan's armies or the refusal of the foreigners to support the Taiping rebels. It started from within. Now, I trust you'll remember Yang Xiuqing, who can channel the voice of God. Well, one day he decided to see just how far he could push this whole voice of God thing.
Howdy, Hong. You know, I hate to do this to you, but God came down to me the other day, and from what I heard, and by the way, this is him, not me, okay? He said that you suck, and also that your son sucks, and he hates your son, yeah. And also he says I should get a promotion and that 4 of your concubines should be my concubines. Now, again, look, that's just what God said. So like, don't shoot the messenger. But I guess you have to do it because like, you know, it's God, you know. Now, shockingly, Hong obliged Yang's request for a promotion and he gave him the title of Holy Spirit. I guess that's because that's the part of the Trinity that was left. God and Jesus were already taken. But before long, Hong began to realize that Yang was definitely like trying to do a coup on him, which Yang definitely was. He had been consolidating his power among his loyal followers and people in the army. And yeah, he was going to coup Hong, but then Hong realized and he had Yang assassinated in cold blood, as well as tens of thousands of Yang's followers. So shit was kind of falling apart, even before Zheng Guofan's armies arrived, or even before the foreigners refused to support the Taiping. And unfortunately, by the end, I think it's fair to say that Hong had become straight up delusional. I mean, you could probably argue that this was the case the whole time, you know, the whole son of God, brother of Jesus thing, but the isolation from the real world had really started to take his toll. If you'll recall, he built himself a giant palace, and basically, he just hung out in there all day. And so, by the very end, you could pretty much guess on any given day in Nanjing, Hong was doing one of three things. Number one, having sex with one of his 88 concubines. Number two, murdering the women who worked for him if they folded his towel wrong more than like once. Or number three, rewriting the Bible to fit his own worldview, which was something that he did a lot. Now, if you're thinking, none of this sounds very conducive to winning a war, you would be correct. It wasn't very conducive to winning a war. But in the past, Hong had had his kings, his generals, and so he didn't really have to be the one who was fighting the wars.
But by the end, after all the coups with Yang and stuff like that, Hong barely had any people left. And so by the time that Zheng Guofan's armies started assembling around Nanjing, Hong only had pretty much one general left. Aptly named the Loyal King, Li Xiuqing came to Hong with a pretty dire ultimatum.
Hong, my holy lord, I don't know how else to put it. Things are looking a little bleak. Our forces are being wiped out. Our supply lines are being decimated. There's literally no food. Everybody in the city's starving. So please, Hong, give me some advice. What can I do to fix this?
Do you remember chapter 16 of Exodus?
I don't know. Maybe.
Well, in this chapter, God scattered manna all over the ground of Sinai for 40 years, and he kept the children of Israel alive in the wilderness.
Okay. How does that relate to our situation?
Well, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but basically, for the last 2 years, I've been stockpiling manna so that when something like this happens, we can all eat it.
Okay. So, what's manna?
Dude, I don't know. Why do you ask me that? I think it's like a plant or something. I don't really know. I just had him stockpile it. But look, bro, I've got some right here. Now I'm gonna eat this stuff. Right now. We are gonna get through this together, Lee. Mark my words. And so Hong confidently ate a clump of weeds that he called manna. And on June 1st, 1864, Hong Xiuquan died of a mysterious illness. No one really knows what did it. I guess it's one of the great mysteries of history. What follows is pretty much exactly what you would expect. The Qing dynasty's forces, helmed by Zheng Guofang, storm the city and kill everybody inside. Some people manage to escape. Hong's son, as well as his cousin, and Li Xiuqing all make it out of the city, but they don't last long. And by October of 1864, it's all over. For a movement that once seemed poised to take all of China, the Taiping Rebellion ends with a whimper. So there you have it, the tragedy of Hong Xiuquan. Now, although you may have never heard of the Taiping Rebellion, when the dust settled, over 20 to 30 million people lay dead. So, next time you're walking down the street and a guy tries to hand you a pocket Bible, just think of Hong. I know I do. And of course, subscribe to Diplomatic for more friggin' epic history content, okay? Peace.